Afternoon intuitives. Well, my interview went well. I start a new job in 2 weeks. Mm, you know, not great. The pay's good, but it's not really something I'm going to enjoy. I don't plan on being there too long, but the pay's good. There's a union and there's a lot of overtime and good benefits. So, it is a temporary fix for a problem that requires a permanent solution, as does me getting the fuck out of this area. But alas, I am the quintessential victim of circumstance. Hi, all new subscribers. Thank you for helping this Nobody channel grow. And it's obvious that my advice and my videos must be helping because that's the only reason people watch these videos, because it's just me talking and there's no fancy stuff or even editing. And I'm fairly certain that you're watching for the information and not just to look at some, has been aging ex Kenneth Cole model. Maybe a couple of you. Anyway, uh, thank you again. I'm going to get into another INFJ topic, and it ties into a lot of the other INFJ videos I've been doing. We're going to keep with the stuff that isn't talked about as much. We're going to talk about the heartbroken INFJ. Now, as I mentioned in other videos, INFJs feel emotion very deeply. It's part of our all or nothing syndrome. Either if if we love someone, it's full force. There's no like, well, I kind of love them, this and that. No, if we fall hard. There's no in between. And this can lead to a lot of heartbreak because, one, INFJs are picky. We don't fall in love easily, but when we do, we fall hard, and we typically don't find people too often that we see as a potential to fall in love with. You get it? Yeah. And we can usually know. It's funny, we don't fall that easy, but we can pretty early on notice in somebody if the potential to do that is there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I could fall for this person. Like, my intuition's telling me they're my type. I can trust them. They'll appreciate, all my INFJness. And sometimes people know about this stuff and you can talk about it because, that makes it a lot easier, though it went terribly wrong. Well, I was going to say I went out with this girl last week, but it didn't work out. But the last girl I opened up to, which was a couple months ago, we were starting to talk to each other, and I'm like, I think you're an ENFJ, and I like ENFJs, and she knew what it was, and she knew I was an INFJ, and that, made it seem like, oh, there's going to be something here. The signs were all there, but it didn't work, and probably one of the most messed up situations I've ever been in my life. And for me, that's saying something. But the heartbroken INFJ, it's bad. We're not the fall easy type. We're not the get over easy type because we're not rebound people. Most INFJs being demisexual, it takes us time to fall for somebody. It's not like flipping a switch. It's not like, oh, well, on to the next one and I'll just go hop in the bed with, the next pretty girl. No. And even if pretty girls throw themselves at you, it's like, I don't have a connection to you. I'm trying to get over the one that hurt me, kind of thing. And that's been the story of my life since I was 15. Yeah, especially in college. It's like, oh, I'll help you get over her. It's like, no, but I'll snuggle. It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, hold me like a baby. Yeah, kind of thing. So, heartbreak for INFJs can come in many forms. We'll talk about some of the more common forms of heartbreak. One, this is a big one, especially young INFJs, because your introversion is worse than when you get older. You overcome it to a degree. Trust me. Trust me. I've never lied to you. So it does get less bad with your introversion, but sorry, it's really itchy today. It's not a nervous tick. It's actually it just today. It's so dusty down here. But your introversion is more intense when you're younger. So you're less likely to, take your shot, and you're less likely to know if somebody likes you. Like the girl who you think, I think she likes me, like pretty sure, but I'm not going to take that shot because what if I'm wrong and that'll ruin my whole chance, and I got to make sure the situation's actually perfect. You know what I mean? Young INFJs, even if you think the girl likes you, you have to ensure that the situation is absolutely perfect. You got to be on the best of your game, give yourself the best chances possible before you tell her that you have feelings for her. And sometimes you wait so damn long, they settle for somebody else. And afterwards, sometimes they even tell you that you were the one they wanted. Oh, yeah. But, well, that's a unique situation. But what I was really leading up to is INFJ Heartbreak, the unrequited love. Oh, yes. Yes. INFJs, especially young ones, fall for those, that aren't available. Like the sweetheart ENFJ girl who's with a, douchebag who uses her and doesn't appreciate her and is with her because she's pretty, and because she can't say no, she'll do things she doesn't really want to do, and he exploits the shit out of that. But again, enough about high school. Yeah, that type. So the unrequited love, big, 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 big INFJ heartbreak, especially in one's younger years. Then there's the, ooh, I was wrong about her, like the girl who plays you, feel the titanium. So the next one, that causes like a major form of INFJ heartbreak is the person you fall for who was able to pull the wool over your eyes. The one who, and a lot of times, at least in my case, it was, the sweet girl who was never treated right, who came from a bad home and just doesn't know how she should be treated. And, INFJ comes along, there's physical chemistry, there's an emotional connection, you're together, and it's like, I'm gonna treat her right, and she'll appreciate that. Well, I hate to say it, INFJs, some people like to be treated like shit, and they get off on that victim complex. Like they enjoy being treated as people's property, and at the same time they enjoy the pity of others for that, telling them you have to get out of this situation. I know it makes no sense, and there's all kind of psychological stuff going in there that I'm not, educated to tackle. I'm just saying this scenario happens. It happened to me. Actually, I was in that relationship this time 10 years ago, and that's not good. you know Eventually the person will either cheat, or they'll show their true colors and start using you and not appreciating you and taking advantage of the fact that INFJs will do anything for the ones they love, leap the tallest building, swim the deep blue sea, you know, take a bullet. Well, I didn't take a bullet for her, but it's because of her I took a bullet, because the heroin dealer she was banging and I fought. And I was winning. And I said I was going to get the cops, and then he shot me. So, nevertheless, there is the person who pulls the wool over your eyes. Then the most obvious one is the relationship that didn't work out. And relationships, as I said in other videos, don't work out for all kinds of reasons, but this one's the least bad, because this is the person that, you were in a relationship with for, let's say, at least 6 months, and you had good times, you got along, everything in the bedroom was awesome. Like, for a time, everything was as you thought it would be when you first got involved with this person. But there can be other obstacles to overcome. People move for their jobs and things of that nature. So people drift apart. This one's a little hard to pinpoint why it happens, but we've all been there. And it's simply the relationship that you don't regret at all getting involved into. It was definitely a healthy relationship. It was definitely a positive experience, but for whatever reason, it just fizzled out. These hurt, but again, in these, you're not sitting there going, what did I miss? Why did I get involved with this person? Was this person ever honest to me? Things of that nature. It ran its course, basically, and that happens, especially if you're younger. I'm sorry, I know we are the hopeless romantics with trust issues and a sex drive out the roof, but oh, my young friends, it is far, 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 far unlikely that you will marry your first love unless you break up and get back together. But it's not impossible, but it's certainly not probable. You get my drift. The next one I got, this one's messed up. This one's messed up. Is the person who convinces you have something, and you do your INFJ thing, which is Let's talk to them. Let's get to know them. Get our intuition going. See if see if like the chemistry's there. See that it's not just like a physical attraction. Let them know. You're a demisexual and you don't do casual. And this is what I'm about. Is that what you want? Kind of thing. And when they say yes and everything's going great, and everybody around you is like, oh, finally, you two idiots, like, you clearly have something for each other, and it's like, yeah, yeah, we're gonna do this, like, and you're happy, you're both happy, and then like that, it fizzles out. And when I mean like that, I mean like right after you fall for the person, like they get you to fall for them because we're like, we're not the most approachable people. Like they go out of their way to get you to fall for them, and then it's done for whatever reason. Like can be any number of things. They decide to give a scumbag X another chance. They have a friend who's obsessed with them, who controls their life. Uh, they decide that they're going to go back to school for their third master's degree. Things of that nature. This one hurts like hell because you're sitting there going, what did I miss? Did this person lie? Did they play me? Why weren't they honest with me if they weren't serious about giving this a fair shot? Why did they push me to open up to them? Why couldn't they have just left me alone? Things of that nature, because you're hurt because you feel for this person. You got to a point where you're like, I'm all in, all or nothing. I want this person. And you never get a fair shot. And you're sitting back as the INFJ going, what did I do wrong? And then you think for a week of NITI loop and you're like, nothing. Like, I was good. And you just don't know what happened. And, it haunts you. No, I mean, not so much because you weren't really with the person very long that you really wanted to be with the person. But what's really haunting you is, why did this even have to happen? Because us as an INFJ, if somebody's pushing to be with us and we're like, I ain't gonna give this a fair shot, we'll tell them, and we won't let them fall for us. Well, I mean, we can't control if they fall for us, but we'll tell them that like, this ain't gonna happen, kind of thing. We won't let somebody fall for us just to hurt them, because that's cruel. It's cruel. So there's another example of INFJ heartbreak. Different stages of life you go through, different ones. And I'll add one more, the heartbreak of forever alone. And I did a separate video on this. This is the heartbreak of the INFJ who feels like there's not anyone left out there that is their type, that they would want a fair chance in a relationship with, and they just give up. They just give up on the idea of unconditional love even existing for them. That's the end stage. When you get hurt so many times, when you get played so many times, when you're sick of seeing well, I mean, I'm a guy, all the girls that are your type allow themselves to be treated like shit by scumbags because of their family, and it's Chestertology, and they're in the in crowd and the good old boys club, and is what it is, and the status quo, and we were high school sweethearts, and I want to get away, but I don't know how, and it could be any number of things. That can push you to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm nobody's fool, and I'm not going to let anybody hurt me anymore. And there's been times where I flirted with that idea. There's certainly times where I gave up for almost a year. Now, granted, I had a lot of other stuff going on, but it's like, you know what? I'm not even trying. I kind of am in that mode now because I live in Chester County, and I know how the people are here like. And the majority of them, I'm not saying every single one, but it's a very high school like environment for the most part. And it's why the last girl I opened up to was from a different state, but she idolizes the culture here. I think I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, you can get to that end stage where you think, I'm just not going to try anymore. What's the point? Like, what is the point? And I know there's some INFJs on this channel that are in that mode. My only advice would be, are you sure it's like humanity that you're giving up on, or maybe it's just the culture and the people of where you live, and you just need to get the fuck out of there? Because I figured that out. Like, there was a time when I was younger and I'm like, I'm done. But no. And then I moved and I'm like, oh, it's not me. It's not people in general. It's that place. That's not a theory of mine. Like, I've proven it, at least in my anecdotal case, that the problem isn't me, it's the culture here in Chester County. Because if it was me, I would have the same problems in Toronto, in State College, in Pittsburgh, in Southern Delaware, in Arlington, you know, in Charlottesville. Like those problems would have arisen at least one of those other places. The fact that it only occurs here lets me know that it's here and not me. And perhaps if you are in that camp, that you have a similar situation going on. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to move and go somewhere new. Will it fix all your problems? I don't know. Will it fix some of your problems? I don't know. Could it fix potentially at least some of your problems? Hell yes. So consider that. Do not fall into, as a lot of people who agree with me about this area and says they can never leave. It's like a form of Stockholm syndrome. It's maddening. But anyway, I hope this helps give some insight into the different types of the heartbroken INFJ. And remember, INFJs, if you want to get involved with one, be sure, even if, all right, I'll give this bit of advice to non-INFJs. If there's an INFJ who's interested in you and you're not sure about it, tell them. So at least then they know that it's not like a sure thing. Do not like act like you're all about an INFJ, and then like just to get them to fall for you and then kick them to the curb, because all that does is fuck with our head. It's better that you shoot us down than let us get to the point where it's like, okay, she's into me, like we're doing this, we've been talking this and that, now we're finally out, like this is happening. That's maddening and cruel, with anything, not just romantic feelings. Always be honest with the INFJ. If there's stuff in your past you're not proud of, the INFJ is typically not going to judge you for it, but we'll send them off as if you lie to them, especially if you get the INFJ to open up and tell their secrets, and they think, oh, well, she's telling me all her secrets and that. Like, this is all in the up and up, and then you find out that it's not. That's not good. Don't do that. That makes us like vengeful. Just, yeah. Yeah, that makes us vengeful, and rightfully so. So INFJs, I hope, this video lets you know once again that you're not alone and gives you a little insight on the different types of INFJ heartbreak and how to look out for it. And if you're not an INFJ, yeah, this is how it's like for us, and it's tough, and it's not something, like I said, heartbreak's not something that we recover from right away, because it's hard for us to move on, because it's not like, it's like, oh, she's hot, next. No, it's, we have to have the emotional connection and all that. So for us to find someone else to fall for isn't easy. And again, there'll be a lot, there'll be lingering feelings from the person we just opened up to. There'll be self-loathing from thinking it's either our fault, or for being mad at ourselves, like going, why did my intuition not warn me, kind of thing. And sometimes, like I said, there's stuff going on behind your back, and your intuition, was telling you right. Sometimes people's decisions aren't their own. Sometimes people just fuck with you for sport. Or maybe all the above, I don't know. So I hope that was insightful. Thank you, all new subscribers. Please watch my videos to the end, please. And don't forget to watch my older videos to, get more advice on other topics when I was even worse at making videos. So they're good for a laugh to watch me stammer and stutter. Trust your intuition, INFJs. Before you open up to somebody, make sure that they are, actually being honest with you, and that you are about to get a fair shot at a relationship with them. If not, run, 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 run. And remember, don't sell out your integrity thinking that you can win somebody over who is never, never going to care for you or have any empathy for hurting you.